Hey guys, welcome to the Alerted Podcast, the show all about movies, TV, film, VFX, filmmaking, leprechauns, technically everything you want to hear in a podcast. I'm really excited about this episode. And I know people always say, they're excited for episodes, but I'm legitimately pumped for this episode because we have a great guest for this episode. He's got one of the best probably the best tutorial show on YouTube, if I don't want to, sing his praises too much, but he's got the best tutorial show on YouTube, I think. And let's just say that if I hadn't watched his videos, I probably wouldn't be here right now, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, let me just introduce, for this episode, our guest, Grant Cook.
Hey guys, great to be here. It might be early, but, I'm functional.
Oh,
functional, let's just say functional, yeah.
What time is it there by you right now?
It is currently 6:05 in the morning.
6:05 in the morning. See, that's dedication. You see, 6:05 in the morning. Right now, it's a weasel's time here. It's 9 p.m. So it's the optimal time for me, and you've got to get up early. I've got the
I'm up
unfair
every
advantage.
single day like this, so yeah, it's all good. That's one of the caveats of making film learning. Unfortunately, I get up early every single day, 7 days a week, and pump it into the show, and then I get my son up, and then after that, go to work.
Yeah, got to grind out those episodes.
Oh yes.
So I know you're in Australia, but what exact part are you from? Like, I don't know if you have states or provinces.
We're right down near the bottom in Victoria. So you've got Tasmania, that tiny little island, and then we've got Victoria, and then there's New South Wales, Queensland. But we're right near the bottom. I'd say we're probably you'd say Southern Australia.
Southern. And I'm Southern Africa,
but not South Australia.
Oh, see, I'm South. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see, there's actually I was actually checking up on this the other day, and there's quite a few similarities between South Africa and Australia if you think about it. Like the main thing that I was actually talking to you about the other day is the sports, is the rugby and the cricket. Everybody goes crazy for that. Everyone goes. And New Zealand. New Zealand's also big in that. Yeah.
Yep.
But there's also the main thing actually is the stigmas. There's a lot of stigmas surrounding Australia, like people saying, "Oh, about the spiders and the snakes." Like, is that actually how true is that?
Oh, that's a thing. Like just last night, I was walking by our air conditioning vent, and a white-tailed spider, which is one of the most poisonous spiders on the planet, just drops down right next to my foot, and this was a big spider, and it's a nothing thing now. I just go, oh, there's a spider. I'm just going to squish it or go get the fly spray. It's a nothing thing these days. Just to walk into your house and have a, ridiculously deadly spider just waiting for you.
So and another thing they say about is that I've heard a lot of people say it gets extremely hot there. Like there's no ozone layer. I've heard people say, when it comes to your temperatures. Well,
we have a nice little hole over our country. So I think the ozone layer is either missing or thin, but we can reach temperatures of 45 degrees, which is insane. And it's those days where you just go, oh my God, I just need that air conditioning. Please bring it on. And
crank it up all the way down, actually, the lowest temperature.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure you've heard...
A lot of times I'll ride to work on my scooter, and in that heat, you've still got to wear safety gear, and it's pretty much like wrapping yourself up in cling wrap, and they're just going.
It's that bad. You have to wear special clothes.
Safety gear for the bike, not safety gear for the sun.
You're talking about I imagine you from wrapping yourself in foil or something and going out and bounce the sun. I'm sure you've heard of the stigmas when it comes to South Africa, like things that I get quite irritated on is like people think that when you come here as like a bushland and there's like elephants roaming and cheetahs running around, people getting slain by animals.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff like you'll see a lot of lions over in South Africa.
Yeah, I'm just going outside to fetch some water from the well or something, and there's a lion there. Yeah, but those are the main things actually. Like when it comes to the stuff here, you guys ride kangaroos and we ride lions.
Well, the kangaroo thing is it's a weird thing because unlike the lions, those kangaroos are everywhere.
Oh, are they really?
Oh yeah. If it comes to
koalas
near dusk, we actually call that roo o'clock because if
my
you're
goodness.
driving home, they will be bouncing across the road, or you'll look across just on the side of the road, and there'll be like 50 of them just sitting there.
So
and
like,
you don't know when they're going to go across the road.
Well, so how dangerous would you think they are? Like, will they punch you in the face or something?
If there's a male kangaroo around, they will get a bit.
I've seen videos. I'm sure. I think you retweeted the guy who punched the kangaroo in the face. That was.
Yeah, he got lucky there because they are aggressive. Pretty much every native Australian animal is aggressive. People say, "Oh, koalas are great," but koalas are one of the only animals out there that have STDs.
Really?
They
STDs?
actually have. A lot of them actually carry chlamydia.
Oh my word! Jeez.
And those massive claws as well. But yeah, they're so cutesy poo. And then
I can just imagine a guy walking into the doctor's office and he's telling him, "Well, you got an STD." He's like, "It's not what you think. Actually, it was a koala." Yeah.
Oh, now I think something completely different.
Now, especially if you go out of Cape Town, on the way out, there's a lot of baboons out there, like just with their pink asses, just running around there, and they throw rocks at cars sometimes. So that's the only thing really. Otherwise, you have to go to those safari parks to see the lions and stuff. Then, especially Americans think there's lions everywhere for some reason. Well, anyway, before we get sidetracked even more, let me just discuss what we're going to be doing this episode before we talk more about kangaroos and koalas. So, guys, basically, what's going to be happening in this episode is I've got a couple of questions for Grant to answer. Also, a few that you guys left on the first podcast episode, which we'll be asking. And then, towards the end, just before we wrap it up, there's a special news segment that I want to introduce, which is actually a movie trivia quiz that all the guests will take. So, hope you're ready for that, bud.
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. We look forward to that. Yeah, so, but without further ado, let me just check out one of these questions here. So, I want to ask you one of my questions first, and this is actually one that Gere asked me in the first episode, which I found interesting, which is, when you make tutorials, what do you think is the part that you like the least of making the tutorial, like the build process?
I'd say the part I like the least is reverse engineering the effect to write the tutorial. Because the scripts that I write are ridiculously detailed. I mean, pretty much it sounds conversational when I'm speaking it, but I write every single one of those words and I write it to sound conversational because I think that's the key to tutorials, to not only have all the steps but make them relatable. And I think that's the best thing about making a tutorial is that not just have that step 1, step 2, step 3, actually put some energy and give it a bit of life. And I find that a lot of tutorial makers don't do that. So that was always the goal with Film Learnin. That was just to make a tutorial and actually make it entertaining, which is harder than you think.
Yeah,
I mean, you know exactly.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I also do the script thing, like, and it can be weird sometimes when you're writing in, your own personality. But it pays off at the end. I mean, it pays off at the end. Yeah, I think it pays off. So, yeah, that's probably sometimes I just am so lazy. I don't even reverse engineer the effect. I just base it on memory, and I'm just winging it there. And then halfway through, suddenly the tutorial, you'll see a text pop up that say, "Oh, do this," and that's where I forgot to add the step in, and I'm too lazy to go re-record it because why?
See, I'm shocking with that. I'm just so anal about it that if I miss a step, the text on screen is like my last resort when I'm just going, screw this. But usually I'll have Audition open and I'll instantly jump back, re-record that bit, and then just shove it back in there again, and then just keep editing. But that's just me and my sensibility.
When you notice the interface change mid tutorial, you know something's up. When suddenly it's a new comp and something's happening. That's
when I just go, yep, I'll throw in a white flash.
No
one noticed that.
those ones. Oh, one of the viewer questions actually is that one's about how did you guys meet? Now I'm assuming he's talking about this in general for every guest, so I'm sure it applies here. So how did we meet? Why don't you take a crack at this? I can't really.
It's a good question.
I think maybe I before I even was doing any tutorials, I was watching yours. And that's what I said, like, if I didn't watch yours, I wouldn't be making tutorials, because I used to, I don't know if you know this, but at the start, I've said this before, but I used to actually just watch your skits, because I found them funny, and I just used to skip past the rest of the tutorial. And then I started saying, it's time to take the next step and get into the VFX side of filmmaking, not just the narrative. So I started watching yours and a few others, like especially Film Riot, but mainly your ones. And then through that, I sort of learned how to do After Effects, and After Effects translates to hit film. And that's the basic thing. But for how you met, I think I probably just tweeted you a few times asking when's your next episode or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. I know it's been a couple of years, so
yeah. I think that's basic. I think the time when we started really talking was when I made my Flash running, maybe with your strike pack. Maybe that was.
I was so excited. I know we exchanged emails back and forth, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
we did that for a while.
That was the kicking off point. Yeah, so I guess that was it. And then it just extended from there. And here we are, recording a podcast at night and early in the morning. Yeah. So that's basically it. The other...
it's a very uninteresting story.
Yeah, it actually is. I mean, you think, one day I was rock climbing in Australia and I fell off and suddenly an arm grabbed me and I was launched to the top and suddenly there was Grant riding a kangaroo and he saved my life. That's the true story, guys. Forget what I said before. That's what actually what happened.
Yeah, right, at the same time, I was dodging baboons that were throwing rocks at me.
Yeah, one baboon had actually tailed me all the way from Cape Town to Australia and was out to get me. So luckily, your kangaroo punched him in the face, and that was it. That's a much better story, and that's actually what happened.
It seems legit.
Yeah, nothing fishy there. Nothing fishy there. If you don't believe it, you're a hater. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. You just gotta. I'd say dab on them, but I think that's gone completely out of fashion. Yeah,
that's gone. There's so much of this. There's so much. Technically, I don't really refer to myself as a YouTuber. I don't know. Like when I see the term YouTuber, I always think of vlogger for some reason. You know, all these people. Like there's so much drama happening all the time with these vloggers, and I'm just disconnected. I'm like, I don't even care about that stuff. It's like
it's hard to care.
Yeah, I mean, we like in our own hub, tutorial people, just doing our own civilized thing when they're busy.
That's right.
I don't know, looking
those
at Philistines
out there,
like
tasering rats. Which is funny because I thought of him when I walked into work yesterday because there was a dead rat just sitting on the sidewalk.
And
I went, Logan Paul, he struck again.
Oh. But I don't even want to talk about that guy. It's just
no.
The amount of tweets. Oh my goodness. So basically, another question that I'm actually really interested. I made this question because I want to stir some stuff up between guests. So I want to see what you say about this. What is it exactly? It is a TV show, right? A TV show that you feel is highly, highly overrated. So you can be watching it or you don't watch it, but you just think it's totally overrated. No reason people should be liking it. Very interesting question. Yeah.
Because I live in my sort of bubble. And I watch my TV shows and that's about it. I mean, we haven't turned on a commercial television station in this house in 6 years.
Yeah, same year. Everything's streaming now. Online, YouTube.
Oh, that is a tough one.
Or maybe a movie even.
Ooh. Movie, Interstellar.
Oh my word. I agree so much with that. Interstellar. But actually, there's another one. Which have you seen Dunkirk yet?
I've seen parts of Dunkirk, and I gotta say I wasn't really enthralled by it.
That one, I was hearing such stellar reviews. People were raving about it. They were saying the suspense is amazing, the sound design is amazing. So I went and I actually bought an IMAX ticket to watch that, and because he's filmed only with IMAX cameras, so I went in for that, like riled up, ready to get my Christopher Nolan on Dark Knight Part 2 or whatever. And I went in there, and it was just I kept waiting for it to start. Like an hour through, I was like, is it going to start yet? Sure, it looks nice and the sound design is okay. But really, I find it totally overrated. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Probably going to have some people in the comments, diehard fanboys, Christopher Nolan, saying that it's not. But, yeah. If you haven't watched it, I would say don't waste your time with that one.
Yeah. It's just that, about Interstellar, I just found that movie impenetrable. It was just trying to be a really, really great movie. And, I just got to a point where... Yeah, I got to that whole, I think it was Fifth Dimension part, and I'm just thinking, I'm not entertained by this. It's one of those movies that you have to revere more than actually go, oh, you know, I could sit down and watch that again.
Yeah. It's one that actually I know for a fact we'll disagree on. One that I find also overrated that I know you don't find overrated is Split, that came out last year. Split. Yeah, I know you love that one.
Yeah, I do. Here's the funny thing. I watched it once. I bought the Blu-ray. I have not watched it again.
So is it like you don't have the itch to watch it again yet?
I don't have the inclination to watch it again. It's a strange thing. I'll probably watch it when the next movie comes out. I know that
Glass,
it was more that I was taken aback. Like, I was enjoying the movie and I'm thinking, finally, Shyamalan's actually returned to form here.
Oh, yeah.
And then the big twist comes up and I'm like, oh no, he's actually making this trilogy now that he's been talking about since 2001. And I've just sort of sat on that information. I don't know if I want to watch it again. Just go.
Yeah.
Because it was a really visceral experience for me. Just that moment where I heard the Unbreakable music kicking in. I'm like, oh my god, he's actually doing it. And
that's your favorite film, isn't it? Unbreakable.
Absolutely.
You said that, I think. Yeah. I haven't seen it.
Oh.
Hide my face. I haven't seen it. I still need to watch it. But I did get the twist at the end. If I'm not gonna, I did get the twist at the end because I know about the movie, but I still need to watch it. Even people have been telling me you need to watch it, so I do want to eventually watch that.
Look, it's a really good film especially as far as M. Night Shyamalan's back catalogue goes, because I don't know what happened there. I think he just got a bit too much of his own ego popped through. People were calling him the next Alfred Hitchcock, and I think because I remember my first date with my now wife was supposed to be at The Happening. Oh,
damn!
And
so it didn't happen. That didn't go through.
That did not happen. I was sitting in the theater. I actually got stood up that day, and I was sitting in that theater by myself. And I was just thinking, thank God she didn't show up because,
everything would be different now if she watched that.
Oh, that could have gone so south so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, like After Earth, and I actually went to the theater to watch After Earth. I sat through that. After that, I was just done. And I watched The Last Airbender also, and that was another one that was just down the toilet, flushed, gone. So I do think that Split has it's definitely a step higher than most movies. I do think that. But overall, I just, maybe because I didn't watch Unbreakable or something. Maybe it would have, sold me in the end. Like, give me that punch in the gut that says, wow, it's amazing. What other twist movies do you think is like the best twist in a movie you've ever heard of or you've ever watched?
Usual Suspects is always like a great one for a twist.
Yes, that one was nice. Yes, that was good.
Because that was a double twist.
Yeah. I like that one quite a bit, but I also like Primal Fear with have you seen that one?
Oh,
with Richard
yes.
Gere?
Yeah.
That one was probably like the ultimate twist. I think that was Edward Norton's first film, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was, sure. Yeah, he auditioned and they were looking for that kid for so long, then they finally found him. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a Richard Gere lover, but for that movie, I think it did what it needed to do for the end, and I think it did pretty well at the end with the twist.
Oh yeah, I think Richard Gere's sort of like Kevin Costner. They do that one guy really, really good. I mean, Kevin Costner's sort of diversified now that he's sort of trading on that Nick Nolte voice that he's got now.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Because they did that action movie with him, I think, last year.
Oh yes.
It was like one of those Luc Besson ones or something like that.
Oh yeah, that was.
He was supposed to be some sort of CIA assassin, where in the entire movie, all I could hear was him talking like this. I'm gonna go get those guys. What is he doing?
What is he doing? A lot of old actors like to do these young movies where they don't really realize how old they are, and they're still doing these young movies.
I remember Sean Penn did that one called The Gunman, and just nobody cared.
I didn't even want to watch that. I saw a review and I was like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. I just thought, they're just cashing in that Liam Neeson card over there.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson started quite late. He started quite late with his Taken. But then I think Taken 2 and 3 fell off the board.
Oh,
especially because I gave it to that guy. What's that guy's name?
Olivia Megaton.
Yes.
Yep.
You see, I know you're going to do well in the movie trivia quiz. I know you're going to do well. You see how you know all these things? And the accents. I want to talk about the accents, actually.
Sure.
We both like accents. I do love accents quite a bit. And I was hoping that I could maybe display my Australian accent to you and offend you to the point where you walk out of the room. So, why don't you give me a sentence?
Let's see.
And then you can do the South African one in the same sentence afterwards. This is going to be good.
Mother of
Prepare. Lethal Weapon 2, as you said.
Well, let's see. What's the most Aussie thing you could possibly say?
G'day, mate. The obvious thing.
Usually, we don't say that g'day too much. It does pop into the vernacular every now and then, but usually, the most Aussie thing you'll ever hear anyone say is, "How you going?"
How you going, mate?
Yeah.
Gonna go down to the store and buy some milk. That's the one I've got. Okay, so you say, okay, what we say here is how's it. People say how's it a lot. How's it? So you can say, how's it? I'm going to go down to the store and buy some milk in your best South African accent you could ever scrunch up from the bottom of your
I'm gonna have to jump in and channel my District 9.
Yeah, District 9. Neil Blomkamp.
Let's see. How you doing, mate? I'm just gonna... Oh, no. I've lost it. I'm terrible. A lot of the times when I do these accents, I warm up for so long.
Yeah.
The one thing that pops out about Lethal Weapon 2 is I remember that Danny Glover described your accent as the shitty accent. We'll have to bleep that out, sorry.
No, that's fine. That one's fine. But it's like... When I talk, I don't think I have an accent. Then I see people like... I'm just seeing now here on the comments of this one video, people are like, "Oh, are you South African?" And I'm like, how did you know? And I realized I have an accent. There's quite a few accents, though, here. Because of the different languages. Because there's quite a few languages. But like the main one I think that you want to go for is probably the... how's it? I'm going to go down to the store and get some milk. That's probably the one.
Oh, yeah. That's the one. Like the New Zealand accent. People just go... "Oh, someone's going down to the shops to get some fish and chips."
Yeah, that's that's another thing. I noticed quite a bit of difference, especially quite a bit of similarity, between the accents, New Zealand, South Africa, especially because I was watching a lot of interviews with Taika Waititi, and I noticed a lot there, especially there when he was talking, and I noticed a few words sound quite similar.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, yeah. But I can't really tell the difference between Australian and New Zealand accents, because it sort of sounds the same, but not really the same. There's like a small little twist in there.
It's a weird thing because you hear people like Russell Crowe, who's in New Zealand, and he sounds not New Zealand at all. And half the people that we claim as our Aussie actors are New Zealanders anyway. Like Sam Neill, New Zealander.
Is he New Zealand? Oh, I thought he was American. Oh. Okay, so one more question I have before we jump into the quiz is a TV show, another TV show question, but a TV show that you love so much. I asked the Gere this also. A TV show you love so much that you basically would shape and form your week around it. So it's like, no matter how bad your week is, as long as there's an episode of that, it's good.
Well, it used to be The Flash.
Oh, but... Did you see my recent rant on Twitter? But if you go through my Twitter, you'll find...
I did, yeah.
Like 80% of my tweets is about Flash rants right now. I'm so...
It used to be something I looked forward to, but I don't know what they're doing with that show at the moment.
Really?
It's such a weird thing. Season 1 was, for lack of a better word, perfect. Season 2 was still good, but it wasn't quite as good because it... I know people throw this around a lot. It wasn't as fresh.
Yeah, I think it was like more like a repeat of the first one.
Yeah. It's a bit like Daredevil Season 1. That was fantastic because there was a great villain.
Yeah, perfect.
And the moment Season 2 came around, it just wasn't as good because they didn't have that. The best episode, Season 2 of Daredevil, was when he confronted Fisk in the prison.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Without a doubt.
definitely. I think
But,
Daredevil
yeah.
season, Daredevil season 1 is probably one of the best seasons of any like superhero show or TV show I've ever seen. Like
Absolutely.
I watched it twice. It was But back to the question, what do you think? Would you say is your like right now maybe?
I've still probably got to say, I'd say Legends of Tomorrow at the moment, because that is the one show that the CW is doing at the moment that it knows it's a stupid show.
It does.
It knows it's a fun show, and it embraces it, and that just makes it a really enjoyable show. It's not trying to be anything fantastic. It's not even trying to be, I don't know,
so doing their own thing. Doing their own thing,
They're just... Like the last episode of that was crazy good, and it was just because it was so absurd. Did you see that one with Constantine in it at all?
Yes, I saw that one. Yes, I quite enjoyed that one. I quite enjoyed that one. Yeah, he's so over the top. It's nice. It's good.
Oh, absolutely. It's a step away from Keanu Reeves' performance, that's for sure.
Oh yes, that movie. Oh my god, Keanu Reeves is such a good actor. He's such a talented person, but he picks such bad projects sometimes. I mean, like, he does a whole bunch of crap, and then he comes back with something like John Wick or something, and then he does a whole bunch of crap in between. Like, there's so many of these tiny movies he does for no reason that just comes out in the middle. Like, I didn't think one called Knock Knock or something. I don't even know what he's doing there.
I don't know what he was...
Like, he's John Wick.
It makes no sense.
He's John Wick.
He's John Wick.
Doing that.
And then he'll go do something like 47 Ronin, and you think, what
it's like,
is that? What is that?
You're just getting a paycheck. That's basically all you're doing. In between the John Wick movies, you're getting a paycheck.
I think he just wanted to learn how to use a samurai sword or something.
Maybe. You never know. Although,
because I remember Liam Neeson said that the only reason he wanted to do Taken is because he wanted to go to France and learn how to do karate. That's it.
Oh, really? It was just, it's going to be a cheap action movie, and then it just took off suddenly. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Because I think a lot of things like that where you expect it's going to be like just some average action movie from the trailers. And I mean, I wasn't expecting anything from John Wick 1. And then...
No, I wasn't either.
When it came out, it was like, whoa, this is amazing, actually. The John Wick 2, I think, was probably on the same level, maybe even a little bit better than the first one, in my opinion. They just did the same thing. So, yeah, I think that's good. For me, I'd say...
they did the same thing, but it worked. It wasn't like... I've recently watched Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
I did too, yeah.
And they sort of did the same thing, but they did too much of it almost.
Yeah, it's like the studio interference. I could smell it there.
Yeah,
I could smell it.
Because it was
too
so
long
over the top.
It was way too long as well, and there was just so much that didn't make sense.
Yeah. I was sitting there watching it, thinking, "What are they doing here?" Because the first movie had a certain charm to it, and this is just mindless. It's mindless action that's hyper stylized, and they had some of that in the first one, but they've cranked it up to 11, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like they forgot about the characters along the way, which is the main thing. For me, everyone knows this. I keep repeating it. Suits, obviously, is my main thing. It's on break, and I'm just clinging on to life, waiting for it to come back. But they've been renewed for season 8, which I'm extremely happy about, although cast members are leaving. I'm sure you've heard about that whole engagement and everything with the prince and everything like that in England. Yeah, that whole thing's been hitting the news. So I can bet you that they're going to milk that, because this is technically her last few episodes of ever acting, and that, you know, people, especially in the UK, they go crazy about this royal family thing. They're going to be milking the advertising there. They're going to be saying, "Oh, catch her in the last few episodes" or something. The UK views are going to be off the charts when it comes to that.
They're just rubbing their hands together. Money, money.
Just wait. Show me the money. Tom Cruise and the pop out. Yeah, that actually, you say you live in Victoria. That's named after Queen Victoria?
I have no idea. Probably.
Because you guys are still sort of part of the kingdom or something, isn't it?
Yes, we're still part of the monarchy.
Yeah.
I think pretty much in name only. I don't think the Queen does anything. But don't quote me on that. But I don't think she does anything in England either. Yeah.
I think same with Canada, I think. Because you both have prime ministers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have presidents, yeah. Yeah, but I think every single country in the world was at one stage under British rule. They had their fingers everywhere, and then some just broke away. Right. Yeah, it's just You see, guys, this podcast is for everything. We talk about politics, we talk about movies, we talk about washed-up actors, and everything included. But yeah, that basically wraps up my questions. So, which means it's time for the main event, which is something that I've been so excited for, which is the...
God, I hope my recall's good.
The alerted quiz, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's roll the intro for the alerted quiz. 3, 2, 1, go. So, here's the lowdown. Basically, how the alerted quiz works is that the guest will sort of take a quiz, and there'll be a 60-second timer, so 1 minute. And in that 1 minute, they have to answer as many questions as they can of 15 questions that I've prepared. Now, these are there's a certain number of each category in it. So there's actors, characters, directors, composers, a whole bunch of stuff like that, all randomized. I've got your questions here on this special, really professional-looking alerted podcast cards. I'm very proud of this. Look at it. It's amazing. Quite nice. I printed it last night.
That's some fancy stuff there.
That's some
You
fancy
have a
stuff.
printer.
Yeah, I've got a printer, guys. That means I'm the next Jimmy Kimmel. Look at this. I've got the cards right here. Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. My printer's currently unplugged and has a bin on it.
Printers. Okay, so the basic rules. 1 minute, the minute the timer goes off, the minute the timer goes off, I'm gonna be just rattling off questions as fast as I can without stumbling over it. And you'll just be saying the answers. Most of them, actually all of them are 1-word answers or maximum 3-word answers. So
okay.
You say the answer, I go to the next question, and we'll see how many you can get right before the timer goes off. So
alrighty.
Just like 1 or 2 little tidbits is that if you don't know the answer to a question, then rather just say pass and save time, because especially like I did it with Gere, and actually let me throw the scoreboard on screen right now. So we did it with Gere behind closed doors. I didn't want to have him being left out since he was our first guest, and I wanted to give him the opportunity as well, obviously. So he scored a 2.2 points out of 15. So that shows you how tough this quiz is going to be, Grant. You've got to be ready for this. And I think 2 points is amazing, Gere. 2 points is amazing because of the severity of these questions. I say this confidently because no one's testing me, so I'm in the clear right now. So, but one thing I did notice, sorry, Gere, I'm sorry about this, but the one thing I did notice is that if you pause in between questions, you do lose quite a bit of time. So, if you don't know it, rather just say pass. And if you think you might get it and you want to give yourself 1 or 2 seconds, then that's okay. But I'd say rather say pass because there's 15 questions and you want to get through as many as possible. And the last thing before we start is that don't worry about counting your points. I've seen this when I've tested it on some people. People are always worried about counting their points, how many they got. And then that sort of ruins the final reveal. But they're also focused on that, so they're missing the questions. But otherwise,
don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm going to stop talking about that. The timer is right here. The questions are here. I'm just going to readjust the microphone so we don't get in the way. Okay. Grant Cook, are you ready to undertake the first ever live alerted quiz?
I am ready.
Okay, so let me just take a sip of this before we start.
Good idea.
Okay, so I'm going to start the timer. In 3, 2, 1, go. Who played Billy Costigan in Scorsese's The Departed?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Correct. Who composed the music for The Avengers?
Oh, pass.
What famous order does Jack Nicholson give in A Few Good Men?
Code Red.
Correct. Complete the movie tagline. In space, no one can.
Hear you scream.
Correct. True or false, James Bond's preferred gun is a Smith & Wesson?
No, it's a Walther PPK.
Correct. Who voices Simba in The Lion King?
Ooh, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Incorrect. How fast must the DeLorean go to time jump in Back to the Future?
88 miles per hour.
Correct. Which city was the famous Sylvester Stallone film Rocky set in?
Philadelphia.
Correct. What is the name of Aladdin's pet monkey?
Pass.
Home Alone, Die Hard 2, and Back to the Future 3 were all released in what year?
1990.
Okay, that was the timer, but you got that correct, so I think I will give you that one. And that is the first ever quiz done, ladies and gentlemen. A brilliant round, if I don't say so myself. I think that was a really fantastic round. Well done. Well done.
I'll jump back to the Simba question. Were you going to say Matthew Broderick?
Yes, that was the correct answer, Matthew Broderick.
Ah, see, young Simba was voiced by Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, I see what you're saying there. We may have a bit of an issue here, guys. So, what I think maybe I should give you that point. You know, I think I should give you that point. I didn't make it clear, so I should give you that point. Yes, you are right. Well done. Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I have no idea if that's correct or you're bambooling me, but I assume it is.
I'll just say the kid from Home Improvement, the middle one.
Yeah, okay.
So that probably doesn't clear that up. Yep.
Yeah. So the questions that you got wrong, I just say is composed the music for Avengers. To be honest, that is quite a bit difficult question, but that's Alan Silvestri. And Aladdin's pet monkey is Abu. A-B-U.
Of course.
Abu. Yes. So yeah, so we managed to get through, let's see, we managed to get through about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 questions. Pretty good, actually. 11 questions. You're just missing a couple. And your points, let me just count it up right now. Grant Cook. Let's bring up the scoreboard. In the first ever live alerted quiz, you scored a total of 8 whopping points. Well done, sir. You are now the top of the leaderboard. Everyone else is shaking at home, wondering if I'm going to be the next guest, how the hell am I going to beat that 8 points? Because that is, honestly, I didn't think anyone would get to 8 points. I didn't think anybody would get 8 points, but that is good, really good. You see, I told you you'd get a good point. You'd get a good score. You know your facts about film. But
yeah, that's ridiculous recall for that crap.
Yeah. You know what would be fun, and just to see if I know my stuff. Why don't you just, before we wrap this up, why don't you ask me one random question about a movie?
Okay.
Just to see
what year? What? Well, going back to Jerry Maguire. What year was Jerry Maguire released?
Jerry Maguire. Okay, I'm not touching anything. I'm not going to Google anything.
All right.
Okay, 1980. Is it 80? 90. 1990 something. 1994.
No.
6.
1996.
Oh, I got it there. Okay, to be honest, I was just guessing though. I was just guessing. I didn't know that. Okay, I'm ashamed. I didn't know that.
No, that's okay.
That's actually another.
It's certainly a romantic comedy from the 90s, so.
That's actually another actor who dropped off the map, Cuba Gooding Jr. That was actually another actor.
Yeah, he's doing Optus ads in Australia now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's advertising new iPhone X.
Really? That's
super weird.
That seems like one of those actors who just latch on to the past and, like that one glory moment. I know he did do some show recently, but I think that American Crime Story or something. He did that. Yeah, I think it was O.J. Simpson he was playing.
Yeah, he just seemed like he was one of those actors that just got their Oscar and did nothing with it. A lot of them do that, though. Look at Halle Berry. What has she done since she won that Oscar?
Yeah, I mean, Storm? I don't know.
Her role as Storm actually got smaller after the Oscar.
Yeah, I think... And now they rebooted it, so she's out technically. Anyway, so...
Yeah.
That didn't... And that ridiculous accent. Everyone makes fun of that. That poor lady's accent.
Oh, the accent that left after the first movie.
Yeah, it's just gone. I actually was... To think about it, I was actually watching Days of Future Past today. And that accent, I noticed that the accent's completely gone. It's not there anymore. They were just like, Halle, just stop doing that, please. Just stop doing that.
Well, you remember Armageddon? Bruce Willis had a southern accent for the first scene in that movie. Didn't have it any time after that.
It was gone. It was gone, yeah. I noticed that. Yeah. Well, this was really fun, dude. I want to thank you for coming on board.
I had some fun too.
It was really, really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Before we wrap this up, is there anything you want to plug, maybe? Your channel will be on the end card. So besides that, is there anything else you want to plug?
Nothing really, I don't think. I mean, we've got a new other episode on Filmstro coming up soon because they've asked me to do an episode on Final Cut Pro X because they've just released Filmstro on that. apart from that, we've got another couple of Thor episodes coming up. I know you do as well.
Yes, I've got a Thor episode coming up as well. Unless it's out by the time this happens, but yeah, we'll see.
And all I'd say is if you want to check out my channel, check out the community tab because I post work in progress stuff there all the time.
I can't wait.
It's the easiest way to find out.
I can't wait to get a community tab. I need one. Just it seems so fun, you know, connecting with the audience and everything like that. Especially the stuff you post on there.
Yeah. You haven't got one. So it must be limited to...
It caps at 10K, yeah, 10K. Let's get to that 10K, guys. 10K, come on, we can do it. Smash the subscribe button. Anyway, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, my handle is @alerted. It's on screen right now, as well as Grant's Twitter handle on screen as well. Tweet him if you have any questions, if you want to ask anything, and check out his channel in the description, on the end screen. Everything is normal. Thank you once again, mate, for being on this podcast. A lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and until next time, guys, until the next episode, leave your questions down below if you want to ask anything with the #alerted. And until next time, we will see you in the next episode.
Bye.